La 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 la.
Inner Wealth Podcast.
La 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 la.
Inner Wealth Podcast.
La 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 la.
Inner Wealth Podcast.
Get out the matrix and live.
You know what day it is? Inner Wealth Podcast. Meditate and give. So manifest the greater this. And things all good cause I say it is. Invest in your inner wealth. Real generational wealth is mental health. It's an inside game, no toxicity. Let's talk and more listening. Ladies and gentlemen, and now introducing David McCullar, founder of Inception, the first mental health gym.
La 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 la.
Inner Wealth Podcast.
La 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 la.
Inner Wealth Podcast.
La 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 la.
Inner Wealth Podcast.
Get out the matrix and live.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the Inner Wealth Podcast. Got another special guest. She's been here before, and I had to bring her back because her story, the journey continues. I got Miss Jaclyn here.
What up, though?
What up, though?
I'm not going to mess that up this time.
You didn't mess that up. Did they get on you last time for messing up the Detroit slogan?
You got on me, yeah.
I got on you? Okay. Well, hey, we from Detroit. We gotta make sure that you do it right.
Yeah, for sure.
So the last time you came here, you were just about to embark on taking your implants out.
Yep.
And so you actually went and did that.
Sure.
But before we even talk about going to have them taken out, let's talk about the journey that led up to even getting them in.
Yeah.
Because this is a thing too for a lot of people, specifically when men talk about it. It's like when men talk about, seems like when we talk about women's issues, we get smashed.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't necessarily feel that when women talk about men issues, though.
I don't know.
I don't feel like they get smashed like we do because it's like if I make a comment, I'm not making a comment out of, anger or, I'm not trying to attack you. I'm really trying to understand. And then through my own lens of understanding, I'm assessing and I'm making a comment. My one comment that I said last time was that about why women get them in.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times it's a self-esteem issue. Then it's this thing like, no, it's not a self-esteem issue. I just want them.
Yeah.
But what was your story in regarding to all of that?
Well, I mean, mine personally was a self-esteem issue.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not afraid to say that. And I'm not afraid to open up about it because I know my women and I know it is like really an acceptance thing of our body, of what it looks like, of what it's supposed to look like, or what society says it's supposed to look like, what a man has shown you before, what it, all the reasons, like magazines and social media and everything. For me, I was bigger chested in high school. And then I got on a fitness journey, got on a health journey. And that sort of left me in a place where I didn't really love my chest anymore. It was like more skin or whatever. So I just thought, well, aesthetically, it's easy. You just go pay to have it fixed. And, because I want to look this certain way. So it 100% was a self-esteem issue about the way that I wanted to look or the way that I wanted to be perceived. And I know we're talking about the before, but we'll get there when we talk about the after. But of course, that is something I'm still working on and still letting go, the after of getting them out and getting into acceptance of what my new body is too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So when you decided to take them out, what was the reaction? Because you were talking about it beforehand.
Yeah. You mean for other people's reaction?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, most people were very supportive. Friends, family, even like a lot of my friends were the ones who really opened my eyes to BII or, breast implant illness. And so they were just really proud of me. Like I got a lot of people saying like, oh, that's so awesome. I want to do it. And I've been scared, of what I look like or how it's going to feel or the recovery. So to be able to like be a voice and provide like comfort for that has been really great. But of course, there's always going to be a couple comments that don't sit well. And, this is the reason why women choose to do this stuff. There are men that were like, oh, why are you doing that? That's stupid. Get them back in. Or can I say goodbye to them? I'm like, did you ever say hello to them?
Right. People said that.
Yeah.
Can I say goodbye to them? Like they're their
Yeah.
own entity.
Like they're their own entity, and also like they know me.
Right.
Like
Like that they can even speak to you that way.
exactly.
Really what it boils down to, I always think of this as all being mental health issues.
Yeah.
One, because there's a lack of boundaries.
Yeah.
Like, why would I ever say something like that to you?
Yeah.
I mean, specifically if I don't know you, and even if I do know you,
Yeah.
why would I say something like that? Like,
Yeah.
I don't have the emotional intelligence to know that could offend you and hurt you.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
statement is one thing. As men, we make statements all the times that just ignorance.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't just put that in ignorance.
No, it's definitely I
Or
don't think it's ignorance.
trained ignorance.
It's trained
or
ignorance,
trained.
yeah. Or untrained,
Yeah.
unenlightened. To one thing you shared last time we talked was like, you feel like a natural woman is the best woman to you. So you've always been taught that, or that feels right to you. So like, if, in the instance we were partners, of course you'd be like, well, I support your journey because natural is best. But if that was never taught to somebody that natural is best, no, this is what a woman looks like, Barbie, quote unquote, or whatever. And like, this is how she should look. And if she changes that and she's not going to look like that, whether she gains some weight because of having a baby or she gets her implants out or, anything, any reason that their body changes due to choices, it's not as easily received.
And I can understand going to get surgeries to try to augment things because, maybe you do want to tighten something up or, I can understand those things. But when you come out and you look like you went to witness protection, like we don't even know who you are anymore.
Yeah.
Like that, I think that's when that becomes extreme, right? Growing up, obviously my mom has been natural. She dyes her hair. She does things. She wears makeup here and there, but it's not like the contouring thing now where it's just like your face is just, again, if you took it off, I wouldn't know you.
Yeah.
But there was a movie in the 80s called I'm Gonna Get You Sucker. It was by Damon Wayans, Keenan Ivory Wayans. He
Yeah.
made the movie. And in the movie, it was a woman in there, and she went on a date with this guy, and they got back to the house afterwards, and I guess they about to have sex, so they taking their clothes off and stuff, and next you know, her breast pop off, but
Yeah.
it's plastic at
Yeah.
this time. This is a plastic thing that just
Yeah.
pops off.
The chicken cutlets.
Her butt comes off. Next you know, her leg comes off, her eyelashes, all of that. And that was in the early 80s that they were trying to, they were using comedy to talk about something and how people were doing at that time, women using their bodies. But now it's now you're putting in these things and they're in there.
Right.
But let's talk about just putting foreign objects in your body. Like,
Sure.
now, even if it's a leg implant or a hip implant, your body's going to maybe reject it.
Well, yeah. I mean, your immune system is going to be triggered. Anytime anything foreign goes into your body, the immune system is trying to figure it out. That's the natural response the immune system makes, which is an incredible thing that our body does. Our immune system is constantly protecting us. And so, of course, it goes into protector mode when you have foreign object put in, but not only one, but two foreign objects in
right.
your lymphatic system, across your chest, by your respiratory system. So, of course, your body is going to go into the red.
Yeah. And so let's talk about the beginning steps of that surgery and taking them out. Like, how are you mentally even going into this?
Yeah. So it was interesting. Something happened for me, and I've heard that this happens for other women too that decide to do the surgery, where just one day it kind of like switches and you're like, I'm getting the surgery. And when a woman decides something, when she puts her mind to it,
It's over with.
you cannot get out of her way. So, it was a compilation of research, being in that group that I talked about in the last podcast, like, tens of thousands of women in a Facebook group all talking about the same things. And so I, was leading up to was very empowering. Like, I'm getting the surgery. Then I came home and I had like a couple weeks prior to my surgery. I moved here back to Michigan. I had about 4 weeks before my surgery. That's when we had our podcast. And, it's like that starts to become looming. Like, of course, like you're always afraid when you go under.
Right.
because like there's
I
a
was
lot
afraid
of
I
scary.
wasn't gonna wake up.
Yes, there's
Yeah.
a lot of scary stories about going under. My body already doesn't handle anesthesia very well. I knew recovery is like 10 times harder to get them out than it is to get them in because of scar tissue. So of course you start to get pretty like personally I start to get like a little nervous preparing up to going in. You know, I did my best to sit still with it, journal a lot about it, and just know that I'm honestly like was straight up getting messaging from God, like, this is the path. This is where you're supposed to be. This is what you're supposed to do about it. Get it out of your body and, you can heal from there. So I trusted it. I knew it. But of course, going into any major surgery, I mean, it was a 5-hour surgery.
Wow.
Yeah. Even with the best doctor. Well,
5 hours?
Yeah.
You were under?
I was under for 5
Do you
hours.
remember anything?
I do not remember one
See,
thing.
I've had surgery before, and I woke up like, I don't like that, because they don't know where you go when they put you under anesthesia.
Really?
Doctors don't. Like, my friend is is a doctor. She's like, we don't know.
Is it like a coma? Like you're like half in, half out?
But what does that mean?
Yeah.
Half in and out of where?
I don't know.
Yeah. So where do you go, and then you just wake up and come back, and
Yeah.
it's weird.
Yeah.
So the thing is, though, the difference with you is you have a wellness based business, and you teach wellness, and you're really heavily into the gut and repairing the gut, and to help women with a lot of things, even digestion issues. So you were already, and I can see how you came to that place, though, because I went down a similar journey where you were trying to reverse engineer where you currently are and how you feel, and say, I think I can feel better if I go and take all these things out that I did to myself or that was done to me, heal these traumas, do all these things, and it leads you to the next step. Like, you know what? I need to go get my liver gallbladder. I need to do a liver gallbladder flush because I haven't done that. So you look at all these layers. What about the other women who are not in that same sphere as you? How do they typically get to the place where they want to take them out?
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. When you're sick of being sick, you'll do almost anything to get there. Here's the work. The work right now is practitioners being aware of what's happening with breast implant illness. So I have a colleague, Bridget Danner. She is acupuncturist. She does Chinese medicine, and she's out in California. I worked with her 7 or 8 years ago, back when I was struggling with infertility. I found her online. She does a lot of mold and toxicity cleansing and, hormone balancing. She's very, very knowledgeable. And so recently I went into her Facebook group. She reached out to me and she's like, I have really started studying breast implant illness. It's now on my intake form because there were some people, she just was like, I can't get results. At the end of the day, you have breast implants. So the more the information gets out there, the more that the practitioners understand what the cause and effect is of it, the more the natural, regular consumer will understand, because they're all listening to us, right? And we're listening to the next people, and we're listening, and so on and so forth. So it's about having the conversations. It's about putting it on the intake forms. It's about, going through all the things that people have done, because at the end of the day, I'm eating organic, gluten-free, dairy-free, no sugar. I don't drink. I sleep 8 hours. I meditate daily. I go on walks outside. Why am I still sick?
Yeah, that's the worst.
What is going on with me, and how, I shared, like, how did I not get pregnant for 6 years? My ex-husband was super healthy. How was I having brain fog? How did I have cystic acne? How was I having, mucus and eye itching and all of that stuff? That's because of the breast implants that whole time, And like, I don't regret 1 second of my journey, because this is what's brought me here and understanding it. But now all I want to do is help other women understand it too.
Let's talk about some of the mechanics, though, that's happening behind the scenes and why, those things start to happen. And I'll just tell you my thoughts, and then I'm sure you can go deeper into it. But it's lymphatics. And you put a foreign object, two of them, right? Said, and you're blocking lymphatic ducts. It's like the same thing with women wearing wire bras. You're blocking lymphatics, and then you go put toxic deodorant underneath your arm, so then it can stick there, and then all of a sudden you're stressed out too, and you have breast cancer, and you're like, well, how did I have breast cancer? It's like, did you see the dominoes that took place behind the scenes to get you to this place? So what did you learn outside of maybe even lymphatics, like why it's causing all these different issues?
Yeah, it's very interesting. A post that was posted by one of my colleagues the other day. She said, or it was obviously in Breast Cancer Awareness Month, but she said it's the middle of Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and I haven't yet seen one post or article on the prevention. Just like on the bring awareness, help money for the cure. Like, no. What's the prevention here? And like, yeah, we know that on a basic level, right? Inflammation leads to bacteria leads to autoimmune leads to cancer. So if you start reversing it, it's like, okay, well, how do we heal autoimmune? How do we get bacteria out of the body? How does inflammation get out? Well, if the immune system is triggered, if the lymphatic system is stuck, the body's not detoxing, that's how it happens.
Yeah.
So it's really about looking at the prevention of it by getting a lot of this stuff out. I think your original question was, how do we bring awareness to it? What was the original question?
No, it was just it was a good tangent though, but just behind the scenes so that people can start to understand. I think if we start to have these, whether you want to call it basic understandings of our like lymphatic system and our immune system, it's a cascading effect that goes down, from one thing. 100%. It's like the body's just trying to figure out how to keep you alive, and it's going to wire itself the best way it knows how to. It doesn't care. You got cystic acne. Those are just the symptoms that's happening because it's trying to wire itself to protect you. It can't it can't remove the implants. So what are you going to do?
So it's going to create byproduct symptoms to keep warning you that something is off. And, on a really basic level, how we detox is sweat, pee, and poop, right?
Okay.
So, like, most people are definitely peeing every day, but I'm telling you, like, at least 70% of women that I see in my practice are not pooping on a daily basis.
Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard women who went once a week, and I'm like, how many times did you eat this week?
Yeah.
Though? Or I haven't had a period in 6 months. They're not pregnant.
Yeah.
And I work with a couple bodybuilders, women bodybuilders who were like that. It's like, your system is very out of balance.
Yeah, it's out of balance. If the body isn't getting rid of toxins and they're stuck in there, that's what the immune system is now attacking. And that's what creates a lot of the issues. But it goes back further than that. It's like, okay, on any level, sweat, pee, poop, okay, we were doing that for many, many years. And maybe many people are doing it now, but we're exposed to 10 times the amount of toxins, even us being on this level of healthy. Yeah. It's like, I walk into a store, and we talked about this last time. I walk into a store, and this girl's like next to me with this 10 pounds of perfume on. Or, you get something new in the mail, and there's off-gassing from your new bed or your new rug.
The mattresses is horrible.
Yeah. Actually.
Because when you got to let them things sit out, when they tell you let it sit out for 2 days or something, why? And then I'm going to lay on it?
Yeah. I found the best mattress that has no off-gassing, by the way. Am I allowed to say it? Like, we can plug them? It's a local company.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Their name's Majestic Beds. I just got mine Wednesday.
Okay.
It's off the hook. It's so amazing. I didn't smell not one off-gassing. It's biodegradable soy. Some soy kind of thing, but it's incredible, and it's no off-gassing. There's no thing behind it, but neither here nor there. What I'm saying is, like, we're constantly exposed to these toxins, even if we're on a healthy level. So, like, if you're not, I know most people are peeing, but if you're not sweating or pooping daily, then what's sitting in your body? And then it gets stuck in your web of fascia, like in your lymphatic system, and it's just stuck there. And people wonder why they have chronic pain. Yeah, is all of your toxins just sitting in your body.
I did a gua sha scrape session with somebody recently, and they were like, "I bruise easily." I'm like, "No, you don't bruise easily. You're congested." Because when you see the blood coming to the surface, and I'm like, when you just lightly, I'm like, your system is very congested, you know. And they're like, what does that mean? It's like, yeah, well, you got permanent tattoo of your eyebrows, and your your skin is constantly pushing out that toxic. It constantly is working the lymphatic system. You got it right on your face, or wherever else you got tattoos and things of that nature. And like I said, the 10 pounds of perfume, like literally does feel like that.
Yeah. I read an article. It said like the average woman puts on 45 products a day.
I read it years ago. It was on McCullar site. It was like 163.
Okay, yeah.
But
I'm like
I
at 10, but yeah.
But I mean, honestly, let's see if we can just name some.
Yeah. Well, let's start at the head. Shampoo, conditioner, whatever 3 products.
You
I
do
put
as
in
a
my
woman,
hair.
I do it as a man. Okay. Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna go on a day I shower. No, I'm just kidding. Shampoo, conditioner, whatever I put in my hair. My stuff to make it curly, and then face wash, my toner, the 3 serums or whatever I put on my
we should
SPF.
Be counting all of this. Good God,
I'm
I
at
lost
8.
track already. That's
This
8.
is just me, by the way, because I'm super. I don't wear a lot of makeup. Just like little liquid,
so
whatever.
we at 8. Where are we at? 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so like whatever it is, my little BB cream, a little bit of blush, a couple, let's say 2 or 3 more things on my face. I don't even wear mascara. Oil, body lotion, and I mean, I think
deodorant. You wear deodorant?
I do.
Okay.
Some days, most days. It's all natural, but yeah, I mean, but it's so I'm probably somewhere around 15 products, but I'm like super.
Yeah, but all your
basic.
Products are more naturally based products.
Not
so
more naturally, completely natural.
Okay,
yeah.
so if you take that same approach and every woman does the same thing, but they're using non-natural products, and it's not just about the one product that's like, oh no, they say it's not harmful and stuff, but you're not comparing it, as Dr. Perry say, to the other 15 products that cross, go against each other. They're antagonistic, and now it creates this whole biochemical storm that you didn't even know about.
Right, absolutely. And like even just compared to Europe, Europe bans about 1,300 chemicals in their products. We only ban like 11 or 12 at this point. There's like
11 or 12, and when they ban 13,000,
100, yeah,
1,300. Okay, that's still a lot.
So like, let's say you bought like some whatever, like CVS brand, like Lancome eye cream, right? It's like so basic, something you buy at CVS, which a lot of people use. If you bought the same Lancome product in Europe, it has tons less chemicals. It's made of 10 times more natural ingredients.
So you're telling me that the market changes itself when there's regulations in place.
100%.
They still are a company. It's not like, so they really could be doing it the other way. Why don't they?
I'm not sure. Feels like America wants to keep us sick.
It definitely feels that way.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not trying to go down a conspiracy route, but but are they, because they use these toxic type products? Do they go in with the mindset like, these are toxic products, we're gonna or do they go in the mindset of these ingredients are the cheapest ingredients to get to what we want? So it's really about profit, not necessarily about us trying to contaminate you.
Yeah, both, I think, but probably the latter more, just because that's like the mindset, of course, is like, what's the cheapest option? And that's not necessarily like how Europeans think, but yeah, I do think that probably. I was having a conversation with a friend the other day. I'm like, do you think people know what's happening? Like, do you think people like whatever in these products or the FDA or something like that, like they know what the cause and effect is and they're turning a blind eye? Or do you think they actually don't know and we're like enlightened and we understand it and they just are like, we don't know?
No, because you don't know about the influx of emails and phone calls they may get about a product, So it's not until so many people have died that now it becomes an issue. And the thing about these products or even implants that we're talking about, it's a slow death.
It's a slow death.
So it's not as like, oh, you know what, you drank cyanide or something, and now you're dead. You just drop dead. Carbon monoxide, you go in a room, you can die in less than minutes, right? So with that slow death, You know?
It's like with, things like Botox and like, fillers and all the stuff that we put on our body is literally like slowly deteriorating your organs and lymphatic system.
Talk to me about Botox. What does that do? Because a lot of people are doing the Botox lip injections, and some people talk about doing it for migraines for the forehead. But what exactly is Botox? Do you know the chemical makeup of it?
Well, not 100%. So I don't want to speak to it and then speak wrong. But it is a chemical.
Yes.
At the very base of it, and you're injecting it right into your lymphatic system.
Is that the whole point of it? Of Botox?
Yeah.
Is injecting into your lymphatic? That just sounds ridiculous to me. Let me look that up.
Well, if you think about it, okay, so here, let's just look at the reason people use Botox. They use Botox because they sweat a lot. So do you know that?
No, they use Botox because they sweat a lot?
They inject their armpit.
Okay.
If people have excessive sweat, they're injecting their armpit with Botox to stop the glands from sweating. Now think about how unnatural that process is to stop your body from sweating. But not only stop your process from sweating, David, to literally inject a chemical right into the very part of your body that gets rid of toxins.
Why are we so ass backwards?
I like that. That should be our new slogan.
Why are we so ass
America.
backwards?
We're ass backwards.
I mean, seriously, when you start to look at these types of things, so the bodies, like, we don't like our body.
Yeah.
Like, we've been programmed not to like our body.
I swear.
Because you're going to stop yourself from sweating when your body is doing that. Still, it's a system, and it's a protection system. It's an elimination system. No, I want to stop it.
Yeah.
I'm going to stop sweating. Let's put this deodorant in as block it up. So Botox?
Well, and the same thing for migraines. It's like, well, the migraine is a sign and a symptom that your body is off. You're getting a migraine because you're, staring at a computer all day, or you're eating terrible food, or you're stressing out, or your hormones are imbalanced. So let's just cover it up with Botox. Yeah, does it take away your headaches? 100%. Do we need it as an interim, intervention? Maybe. But why are you getting headaches? Why are you sweating a lot?
We're a symptom chasing society, and if the medical system really chases symptoms, then we as participants and look to them as being the people they know about health, but not when the doctor goes out smoking some pack of cigarettes. I mean, I don't know how that's a pillar of health, but you still condition. We talked about that off air about the conditioning. So let's go down and talk about conditioning for a second. And first, I want to talk about the conditioning of us and how we view beauty. I remember being a little boy and watching TV and seeing Head and Shoulder commercials. I wanted to use Head and Shoulders.
Because the hair was so pretty.
But none of them look like me.
Yeah.
Like,
True.
I'm like, well, does that work for black people here? No, David, it doesn't. That's what my mom said. No, you don't need Head and Shoulders.
But yeah, I mean, like, I don't really know what's different about Head and Shoulders from other shampoos, to be honest. But, I'm sure it's just a couple different chemicals that help, alleviate flakes or whatever it is. But why do you have dandruff?
Why do you have dandruff? Right. So, why is your skin dry?
Yeah. Don't ask, how can I get rid of dandruff? Ask, why do I have dandruff?
And Head and Shoulders is not necessary. Black people's scalp typically tends to probably be more moist, I believe.
I think so. I don't know.
Oily,
yeah.
I believe. I may be wrong on that, but that's just my thoughts. But I was talking about the conditioning of it and how we seen stuff on TV, and it's like you want it to look a certain way. And you can see generationally how it shifted. Again, like the boob thing came about. I mean, I'm only 41, but I didn't really see it, hear about it probably to like the 90s.
90s big, yeah.
Got big, and then clothing started to become more revealing. It's slowly, if you saw over time, we slowly got here. Things on TV start to become more raunchy or vulgar. Like, Justin Timberlake rips Janet Jackson's nipple off or whatever, and it's like it just slowly to the point. Then you get to the point where we're on IG and we don't even really watch TV per se as the nationally syndicated TV. We watch our TV screens, and now here you are as a young girl and you're getting hyper programmed because you see the success. There's a success attached to that beauty now that you can see from a number standpoint, like a scoreboard.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you got 1 million followers.
followers.
That's because you got your butt done, you got all this done. So what does that do? From a man's perspective, it happens in the same way.
Yeah.
It just happens in a different way. I mean, watching all the hardcore action movies, all these dudes are jacked, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and and then every guy's asking, how much you bench? How much I bench? Like, well, we having a bench bench pressing competition? So all these conditioning happens over time, and here we are, and we make these decisions based on all of that. So in order to really change, we got to come out of the program matrix that we've gotten.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I talk about it all the time when it comes to dieting, because like my programs and stuff are very heavily oriented on not dieting anymore, on making sustainable changes for a lifestyle and living balance and like, getting out of diet culture. But you're talking about if a woman is the same age as me in her late 30s, like through the 80s and 90s and the 2000s of 30 years of programming of what dieting looks like, or how we secretly stress eat, and how we body shame and food anxiety and all that. I'm just using it as food relation here, but it can be in any different way. Is you need to look a certain way. So if you don't, you have to guilt or shame your way into doing that and hate your body until you get there, or restrict yourself, or put yourself through surgeries, or put yourself through, 12 weeks of basically like Navy SEAL training to get ripped.
Right.
Yeah. Like, what kind of life is that? Like, when I wake up, I want to say to myself, like, what do I need today? Really, like, what do I need today? Not like I have to do this today because I need to lose 10 pounds by so-and-so's wedding, or I need to, get ripped so I can wear this tight t-shirt and go around ladies and get ladies. Like, specifically, like, does anyone wake up and ask their body what it needs anymore? Like, for real, like, that's what we need to be doing. Again, the same thing, like, not how do I get there, but why is this happening? And what do I need to change in my lifestyle? Like he was talking about, producer came in here and talked about, like, I asked him, what changed for you? He said he started feeling physically and mentally better by exercising. I said, well, what shifted it for you? He said, I just got tired of feeling that way. I just got tired of doing that. Like, at some point, everyone has to wake up and stop getting tired of feeling a certain way and shaming themselves into it.
And that's the most important thing I think about the whole conversation is why are we talking about, it's not about a moral good, bad. It's about, for me, it's about resourceful and feeling, like you said. When you feel better, and let's talk about that. When you feel better, you're like, wow, I feel amazing. And I didn't have to do X, Y, Z when I've been programmed that I need to do X, Y, Z.
Right.
So after you went and you got the implants out, what was the feeling?
Yeah.
I want to say right after.
Right.
That's going to that's
yeah.
just
Don't ask me right after.
Don't ask right after. That's not. We could talk about that too, but I want to transition into what are the things you saw? What are the resources, mental, emotional resources you saw come back to yourself after taking something foreign out of your body?
Yeah. I mean, it definitely took a little bit of time for me to see and get clarity, but I think physically, immediately people could see a difference in my face. My skin was less dull. It was like brighter, or like a couple people were like, do you have a tan? Or, what's different about you? I'm like, oh no, I got my implants out. My eyes were whiter. My skin hasn't broken out since. The cognitive, or like I would say like the brain fog really lifted, and the concentration's a lot better, and quality of life. Like I saw those things pretty immediately. Specifically the physical look of my face, I think you saw the before and after photos.
I did see
7 days post surgery.
I would like
crazy.
to see if I can implement that into this video.
Yeah.
But do it side by side. But you definitely, when I looked at it, I was like, yeah, you can tell You can tell your lymphatic system was working better.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
can tell your blood flow was working better too.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So those things were almost immediate. And then, as I started stepping back into, I think it was really tough for me. The hardest part was like not being able to exercise. But once I was able to get back and start exercising, little by little, and like I was just shocked at like how strong and like amazing my body was able to adapt back and like really build my strength with my trainer and work through just getting strong again, all the way up until I just moved into a new place this week, and I was like, oh awesome, I can carry all this stuff now. But my strength feels stronger. Is that like a weird thing to say? But it
Yeah,
does. Like
feels stronger.
I'm like, wow, I'm capable of some very strong things. And my neck and back pain is better. That's a couple like immediate things, that came up for me.
Wow. And just from, you spend all this time and you do all these different things. Like, I'm not hardcore on everything that I do. Because I just believe it's balance about everything. You can swing and you can eat all the cleanest stuff in the world, right? And then, really what you're trying to get to is a certain place. But I try to stay more balanced. Like, somebody asked me, like, you drink? I said, I'll have a drink. I'm not like, but I can see the programming of where you talk about all this health-based stuff, and I would like to think that you do nothing that's considered unhealthy. No, that's not the thing.
Yeah, that's not the point.
That's not the point. The point is when you're doing everything unhealthy and a
Yeah.
little bit of health, and you thinking you're wondering why you don't feel well. But if I do majority of the stuff that's healthy, can I do something that maybe that doesn't seem as healthy? Well, yeah, because my body has the resources to even help me out in that situation.
Right, 100%. Yeah, and that message is well received for me, because I think people will potentially, put someone like you or I like on a pedestal where it's like everything is like holy and nothing can live up
Right.
to it or whatever. But like it's not true. Like I go out with my girlfriends and we get dessert sometimes, or like sometimes it's like movie night and grab a pizza. But like there
Oh, I do want some pizza.
Yeah.
You just said that. I'm like, I want some pizza.
is this what I like to talk about with my clients, with my friends, with everybody that will listen to me is about developing non-negotiables, right? So like I'm going to grab a pizza, but I'm not going to grab it from not to be named like crappy big box stores that are close near me. I might make my own pizza, or I might get it from like a better quality, like an Italian market or something like that, where I know they're doing better quality ingredients. I'm going to have a drink, but I'm going to have good liquor or good beer, whatever I want. I'm not going to have like crappy, so it's, and just the point of what I'm trying to say is I start to value my body so much. I start to really like think like, wow, this is my only home that I have to live in for the rest of my life. So all the intruders need to be out, and all the healing, awesome things can be in. And yes, of course, can we do things in balance and be unhealthy sometimes? Yeah. But what are my like baseline non-negotiables that I'm not willing to waver from, because I respect myself and I value myself so much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, my baseline negotiable is not, I can't work for other people.
Yeah. I have that one too.
For my mental, emotional
Yeah.
health, I have to, nope.
Yeah. And see, you start to develop a list. Like I could probably ask you, say 3 more and you'd have it. Like, but so many people don't have this list of their non-negotiables.
Yeah.
Like, what do I need to function, to feel good on a daily basis? And I'll do this. I'll like work through this with my clients or with, people who need it. It's like, let's start to recognize your values. What are your values? How do you stay in alignment, and what are these non-negotiables that you like can't skip and like will not waver, have boundaries on them so that you don't feel bad,
Oftentimes they feel like people don't have the contrast to even know
True.
what those things are. And I mentioned this to some people yesterday, and it was just like, you've been stuck in this for so long that you lost contrast to the point where you sleep with the TV on. It takes you more than 10, 20 minutes to fall asleep. You wake up multiple times in the night, and you think or you eat very late. I'm like, that's the time your body should be resting, not digesting. And you think that's normal. You need So people come out of Inception and they have a contrast. And they're like, whoa. You know, but if you look at Iron Man, remember the suit that Iron Man wears and Jarvis is in there? And he's constantly saying, hey, Tony, we got this going on. We got that going on. We got thrusters is down, capacity. Your body speaks to you in the same exact way. It just doesn't sound like an AI robot in your ear.
Right, exactly.
But that pain that you're feeling, that's an indicator. Like I sit and press on my body all the time. Because Dr. Perry has even told me about that. It's like anywhere you press and there's pain, there's an issue. Like you should be able to push into tissue and it shouldn't hurt.
Right. Exactly.
So if you push into tissue and it hurts, that's something that needs to be addressed.
100%. Yeah. I just saw something else the other day that said the cure for the common cold is the common cold. And I was like, wow.
Yeah.
Like that's going to hit for some people because like the cold, we don't need to get, like, I mean, granted, if you're really healthy, you might not get a cold, but you're getting a cold, your body is getting a cold to just like purge your system of everything that's in it. So like that's your sign to take a rest, to sleep, to take off work, to stop stressing, to eat, soup, to all these things to heal your body. Because that's like the end, for me. It's like if I get sick, I'm like, oh, I did. That's it. I'm at the end of the line here. I ran my body too hard and this is the edge for me. Like I'm looking over the edge. Like I got to go back. I got to get back to all these things because if I don't, like this is where disease starts,
So from your surgery and you went to that bad place, I was recently sick probably a month ago. I think I talked to you about it. I didn't have COVID. I tested for COVID like twice, was negative. I had a fever, ongoing fever. This was happening for weeks. I'm like, what in the world is going on? And I'm like, really? I didn't go to a doctor or anything. I'm just troubleshooting. That's just me. I'm not telling you that's what y'all want to do, but I didn't do that. I'm sitting at home. I'm grounding. I'm using all of I'm not doing anything different than what I normally do. I'm just doing more of it.
Right.
And I'm just sleeping and stuff. But when I was in that, I was like, man, I feel so bad. And I remember how bad I felt. And I was like, I haven't felt this bad in a long time. And I just said to myself, man, when I actually start to feel better, I'm going to have such contrast of what that feels like. And to me, being sick like that was a gift. And I knew my body was going to adjust and get stronger because that's what the body does.
Right.
If
absolutely.
what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's true. It's adaptation.
So true.
So in your journey with the implants, and I'm sure you went down some dark places. How did that feel going from that dark place to where do you feel better now?
Yes. I mean, yeah. So the thing is that, implants have over 40 chemicals in them that make up an implant. Everyone thinks it's just plastic or whatever the outside is, and then liquid on the inside, whether it's silicone or saline. That's not true. It has formaldehyde. Like their chemicals are failing me because they have so many crazy
formaldehyde,
names.
What's formaldehyde typically in? Like, is a product that is typically in?
Well, it's in Diet Coke.
Really?
Formaldehyde, yeah. But formaldehyde, is the product it's the chemical that they use for embalming dead people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So
I put that in St. Ides too.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what St. Ides is?
Yeah.
I learned that when I was in high school. A guy came in to do a talk. He's like, St. Ides, that's formaldehyde. That's embalming fluid. It's malt liquor.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, y'all drinking malt liquor. And I'm
You're
like,
drinking
what? We drinking formaldehyde?
Well, it's in Diet Coke too. So many people are drinking that there. But a lot of beauty products, because of course, like if it's embalming, it's like meant to not let you ferment, basically.
It's like a
Preservative, right, on the very high level. So of course, so these 40 plus chemicals that are in the implant then, go into your body, heavy metals, all sorts of stuff. So when you get them out, you're not just like automatically better, which I think a lot of people thought that that's what would happen. Like I was better, but I'm not my best. And yeah, go ahead. What were you going to say?
So you have the implant that's causing obstructions. That's one issue. Then you have the implant that's causing toxicity. So we have these compounding issues. So you remove the implant, and yes, there's going to be a uptick of health, but then you still have to deal with the residual damage that's been happening from the leakage, the micro leakage into the body, and the scar tissue over years. So even though you still spiked up, there's more work to do.
There's
so
so much more work to do.
What did you do? Let's talk about what's some of the stuff that you start to do.
Sure. So the first thing is that you can't detox for 3 months post-surgery. It's like every doctor, any smart doctor will tell you not to detox the body because you can't detox when your body is healing a wound. Okay. So like big scars, like big cuts in my body, a lot of scraping, they did the complete M block. So a lot of scar tissue, the M block, how do you say it? Capsulectomy is when they take the implant and the capsule out together at the same time. So literally my implant was covered in a cocoon of scar tissue. So they could cut it open and peel it around it. It was crazy. I'll show you the images later. But the point is that, so that's one thing you're dealing with, that getting out of your body, and your body has to heal. So my doctor is the best doctor, I think, and she says 3 months. So I'm only at 15 weeks. So I just started getting testing and figuring out like what's going on in my body. So here's what's testing positive in my body: heavy metals, mold, and then like liver. I got some liver congestion going on. Even with doing AIP protocol, super, super high paleo protocol prior to surgery, all of my supplementations to prepare for surgery, being organic, all these things for 5-10 years, I still have this in my body. So imagine people that don't do it. So I'm working with, a couple practitioners, and we can't do it all at once. So, we're going to start by doing some binding agents to start getting the mold and the chelations. Yeah, start to get the mold and heavy metals out of my body, which I think is probably just responsible for a lot of the residual health issues that I'm still having. I'm not expecting for everything to be, amazing and perfect right away. Like, this is a journey, and I'm learning and I'm growing, and as I'm doing it, I'm sharing a lot about it because I want women to know, like, this is why you feel this way every day. So it's going to be a slow burn, and I'm just taking all of the rest of 2021 and 2022 to just really focus on all of this, like just getting this stuff out of my body and focusing on not trying to rush it, just doing it step by step and working with some of the best practitioners to do it. And like, I'm a practitioner, right? Like, I know this stuff, but I'm not going to do it myself. Like I can't, you got to get outside your body sometimes and really see some other people to help you heal. And like, asking for the help was the best thing that I did, because I really need other people. And like, I say this to people all the time, like, coaches need coaches too. So, ask for help, get the help you need from the practitioners, because they're the ones that can direct you in the right position.
I'm glad you said that, because when I was sick, I was saying I was doing it myself, but no, I went to Dr. Jake, and literally, he's a applied kinesiology chiropractor, AK doctor, and so, like, yeah, man, I was really out, like I had some type of virus in my body. He was able to measure that, and I went to him. Rashad and Troy from Earn Your Leisure were in town, and I remember I had just got finished shooting something for, I can't remember what we were shooting, and I had to go down there and see those guys, and I'm thinking, I'm not gonna make it. I wanted to see Dr. Jake. One adjustment, lights came on.
Wow.
Then I went down there. Yeah. My occiput was so locked, like, and he just, and I was like, went down, lights came on, and then I needed to go and do that a few more times.
Yeah.
So definitely having your practitioner, that's somebody who's more skilled than me in a lot of different areas, and I go and I say, I'm dying. I literally went to him. I said, I think I'm dying, bro. What's going on?
Yeah, I mean, even if they're not more skilled, even if they're just like on your level, but they can provide a different, because like, when you don't feel good, you're not thinking straight. Like, I know for the last couple years, as the breast implant illness got worse, I was not thinking straight. I just kept like throwing things at the situation to make me feel better. But then it was like stepping outside and somebody else saying, could it be potentially this, or can we start to look in this direction? And I was like, okay, like, thank you for that. Like, that's right. Like, I wasn't even looking at it that way.
Right. Do you think that obviously breast augmentation, I'm pulling up the numbers here, it's like the top thing to do in terms of plastic surgery. I would think that the butt implant thing is starting to rise, because that's like I didn't even know that was a thing. I mean, 10 years ago when that became a thing, I was like, what?
It's kind of
Like, you're
weird.
really doing that? Like,
Yeah.
and that's a thing. And then I saw people was getting calf implants too, or I saw men getting breast implants.
Yeah.
That's another thing. Men do get breast implants.
They do.
Is there going to ever be or have you seen something that's going to be a more natural way to augment your body without having these types of issues?
Well, so one thing that's big in Europe, and clearly I love Europe a lot, is re-injecting fat into. So, like, you have to have enough fat somewhere
Right.
to take it out of you, do the liposuction.
You can't pull somebody else's fat.
Yeah, I think maybe
Fat
you
farm.
can.
Like, that'd be a thing.
What if there was a fat
That'd be
farm?
nasty.
Hey, they already do it for extension hair, right?
What?
Well, real
Oh,
hair is from someone
But
else.
if you take
yeah.
somebody else's fat and put it in
I
your
don't know.
body,
I mean, they might be doing it. I don't know.
you
might
know
wanna
what's in
Google
fat
it.
though? Toxins.
Yeah.
Toxicity.
Of course.
So
That's
do
what's
I
sitting
really
in there.
want to?
Hell no. In your butt? You can put someone else's toxins in your butt?
Man, you can be like Humpty Dumpty.
What does it feel like to sit on them, though? If anybody is watching this right now and they have them, I want to know what it feels like to sit on that. Because, like,
Are you talking about the fat
the fat or the
transfer?
implants?
But
like
the fat has
anything.
to feel more like a butt, because it's,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
fat, right?
Yeah.
So we know about the fat transfer. The problem with the fat transfer, like with most
Yeah.
when we start working out, you can't now dictate if you don't lose that or not,
Yeah.
because you're going to burn that fat,
Yeah, you can burn the fat.
right?
Yeah.
So how many times you had to go get a fat transfer?
I don't know. But, like, that they're doing it a lot for, like, just the lip, injections and stuff, like, or filler for the face. They'll
using
use
fat?
fat. Yeah, someone's fat instead of using like a chemical. But I think the same thing as you, like, what's in the fat? Are we redepositing
Whose fat
toxins?
is it?
Well,
It's
that
my
person's.
fat.
Your
so
fat.
you're just
yeah.
taking my dysfunctional fat
Yeah.
and putting it somewhere else.
Yeah.
You're taking the fat from the butt and putting it in your lips.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's exactly what's happening. We're
Got
laughing,
them
but
booty
it's
lips.
yeah.
That just don't even seem right. But
Oh my God.
okay, let's talk about this.
We're not gonna live that one down.
Let's talk about this though. So I don't know if they're gonna create something that's more healthy in that. I mean, hey, if we can create rocket ships, we can probably figure out that out.
Yeah.
But more and more people are going to start going to this metaverse.
What's that?
You know what the metaverse is?
No, I
Oh
don't.
my God.
You're about to school me on air.
The metaverse is Facebook changed its name to Meta
Oh
currently,
yeah,
right?
I forgot. I
But-
just keep hearing it called Meta.
But it's a 3D world.
It is.
Yes, you
I
put
mean,
on
I'm so
you
behind.
put on an Oculus headset and you ever seen Ready Player One?
Mm-mm.
Oh man,
I know,
I tell
you-
everybody, you gotta watch that movie. So Ready Player One is this real augmented reality that you put a headset on. It's like imagine us doing a podcast and we're not at this table. We got headsets on and we literally walked into a room.
Wow.
Like we walked into this room. Everything is 3-dimensional. You can look everything up, down, left, right, and we sit down and we have a conversation. So
Okay.
in that world, you're gonna be able to wear an avatar that you choose.
Oh, yeah.
So will people really care about augmenting the physical body when everything will be about being in that metaverse and augmenting that, which is just a click of a button to change? I mean, you're going to have people walking around looking like the Predator and stuff, like aliens or something, because you can change your
This
own.
is nuts.
Yeah.
This is mind blowing to me.
Yeah, this is
Because, like,
happening.
what's wrong with the real world?
Well, if it's the real world, but so that's because that's gonna make you question reality in that regard too.
That's crazy.
We're already questioning reality.
Yeah.
We already think that the people avatars on these social media is who they are
No.
until you meet them, right? And then you're like, oh, I thought you were taller. And you're like, what do you mean you thought I was taller?
That's
Why'd
like,
you think I was taller? Because you saw my avatar.
Yeah.
My avatar then match up to your
Yeah.
expectations. So you're already not living in the real world.
Yeah, that's like Bumble.
With the dating app? Well, how's that work? What do you mean that's what it's like? What do you mean?
Because you can really, you can say whatever you want to say on there, or you can put the picture, you filter the picture however you want to filter the picture,
Oh,
whatever
that's
you put
true.
it up, and then you meet
Yeah.
a person in real life, and you're like,
I need to see your non-augmented self.
yeah,
But you're doing that already though, and
Yeah.
makeup and all the things too. So we're doing that.
right.
We're just doing more of the same stuff in a
Right.
digital way.
Yeah. Okay. That's crazy. We'll see what happens with
Yeah.
that.
So I just wonder, will body augmenting change in
Maybe.
this world based on people, the younger generation, wanting to do it in that world?
Potentially. I've been seeing some girls posting some videos like signs or here's a video to show you social media is not real, and then they post the real photo, and then they post the filtered photo, and then they post the real photo, and I'm like, wow, like I always wondered how girls look like this in real life, but they don't. Like it's crazy. Their face is,
You have to send that to me.
Yeah, I'll send you the one that
Would
I
it
sent.
change in their neck size and stuff
Well,
like
it's like,
that?
yeah, the cheeks being more defined, and then like, the eyes coming up more, the eyebrows thicker, the nose. Of course, if you did that to me right now, I would look like a different person, But here's the
look like a
thing.
cat.
Maybe like a busted cat. But like the thing is that I like the way that I look. And I don't want to change it. In fact, I only want to improve it for my health to improve. And that's like how with the meta you just told me, I just feel like we're getting farther and farther away from people really like loving and accepting themselves just as they are.
I totally believe if you can start to do the self-mastery on the body that you inhabit and doing the best for it, like you said, asking the question, what do I need? Like you're going to be way more attractive than you ever could be attractive by putting stuff in your body that blocks the shell that you live in, that diminishes your resources. It's like you can't.
Yeah.
You can't be more attractive. You'll be more attractive to people who are just as I don't like that word toxic. That's not a good word. But those who live in that
Yeah.
same reality as you.
Altered reality. Yeah.
Because you're living in a reality and a facade. It's like, oh, look, I got all this, whatever possessions that I put on my body, whether it's clothes, whether it's makeup, whether it's whatever. And it's just like, but that's not you. Who are you?
Who are you?
I need to see you.
Yeah.
And I think the more authentic you can be, I just think being authentic makes you attractive.
Yeah. I wish everybody thought being authentic made you attractive.
Because you're owning it.
Right. Exactly.
You're owning it. Like, yep, that's what it is. Like, okay.
Well, not to talk about Europe again, but but every time I go there, it's not, I don't know that
Which
it's
part
just,
in Europe?
Well, I mean, I've specifically been to Spain and Italy many times, and that
Because you're Italian, right?
I'm Italian, yeah, but I also love Spanish culture. I love being in Spain. I think it's absolutely incredible. But like, they just do not give a shit. Okay, like no matter what they look like, they walk around like they are the bee's knees. Like you'll see just like anything from like a fat grandma to like a skinny model to like a middle-aged normal woman just strutting. Like just happy in their own world, doing their own thing, not on their phones, just living.
But that's not, that may be in Spain, but that's not in Latin culture when you go to the islands and stuff.
Which islands?
Just damn near all of them. I mean, you're talking about South America.
Oh, no.
They're very
Yeah, I meant
into
Europe,
augmented
Spain. Yeah.
bodies.
No.
Okay, so but
Yeah.
the thing is, here's the thing: why are they able to walk around and not care? Because they don't have the same level of programming to care.
Right, exactly. They don't have the programming. Yeah. And so, you would see all walks of life there and just different types of people. Like there was no, we need to look like a certain person. Like there's not one holy grail, like Kim K. We all need to look like Kim K. And now
Right.
everybody here in
Looks
LA looks like Kim K,
Yeah.
right?
I remember when that started.
So crazy. But like there in well, I mean, it's not, I don't think it's just Europe. Like, I mean, I think it's a lot of that just side of the world in general is just like that stuff just doesn't define people. And like even this is just like the simplest thing, right? But in Italian culture, so like let's say it's fall season, right? Like something normal like people will do is it's fall, I'm going to go shopping, buy all new clothes, all this stuff. Like in Italian culture, they buy 1 or 2 really nice outfits, very high end. Like they'll pay good money for them, but then they wear them every day. Like they might just switch in and out the pieces or whatever. Like you see them in the same outfit a lot, but they look amazing. And that's just like goes to show like less is more, and that you really don't need a ton of stuff or to look a certain way to feel good. And they don't really do a lot of fillers or a lot of dieting or anything. They just live happy, joyful lives and like really focus on the moment.
For me, that's the part of the work that I help people do. It's like get to that understanding of less is actually more. And you see it even with things like you take caffeine or alcohol or marijuana. The more you do of it, the more you do it, is the body creates this resilience to it. And it's never going to be like it was when you first did it because you consistently doing it. It's the same thing with social media. Like that dopamine, we're all on dopamine overload. I feel it in my body. I know, and I'm like, I gotta detox because I'm not feeling my happiness to the level that I know I could feel it because I'm constantly like I just looked yesterday and I sitting in a chair like I got my phone in my hand, I got my laptop on my lap, I got the TV on. And all between this is all just data and information I'm taking in. And it's all just dopamine. Like, oh, look at this, look at that. And I'm just like, what did my brain feel like when I was 12?
Oh, my God. That sounds so amazing.
I
Just
do.
you saying that gave me dopamine.
And I think, though, am I just romanticizing a time where there was less stimulus, or is it? I honestly believe that again, it goes to that less is more. If I don't have as much stimulus happening, just like why I feel good coming out of a float tank because I got to like process through all of that.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
And so the goal is to help people to pour out the cup, to remove the things that block you from really truly being who you are and feeling the way that you want to feel. I understand the whole idea of change in your body and things of that nature. But if you get down to the root of it, if I have a conversation and anybody can try to argue with me on this, if I sit down with you and I talk to you, we're probably going to get to the same foundational reason of why you are augmenting your body. And it comes down to what? Feeling. I want to feel X, Y, Z.
Yeah. Or feel. Yeah.
What does the look do?
Yeah, exactly.
The look
makes you feel. Yeah, right.
The look just drives back down to the feeling, right?
Or better, all those things, accepted.
And it's like, well, I'm doing this for me. I'm doing this because I want to look like it for me. No, you're not. I'm sorry, but you're not. You're not doing it so you can look like it for you. If there was nobody on the planet, would you do it?
Yeah, exactly.
No, you wouldn't. Yeah. You wouldn't care.
Yeah.
Somebody programmed you to even care about what you look like. So I'm doing it for me. No, that's a myth. You're not doing it for you. You're doing it for you to feel better about you. Would you say, is that an accurate statement?
Yeah, I do. I think with everything there are always some stipulations. I think one that comes to my head, and I'm just saying this off because of knowing women or whatever, but there's something obviously that happens to a woman's body after they have a baby. Now, I haven't experienced that, but I'm learning about all of my friends that are having babies where sometimes things go weird after you have a baby and like your body can look dysfunctional. So those are some of the stipulations like I understand.
I understand that for sure.
Just like feeling comfortable like in a bathing suit or whatever it is, like when it comes down to like that kind of thing. But if it's like more or less, or like who knows, like some people have like one boob that's like a size A and one boob that's like a size D or whatever, like some of it. So I guess I don't know, where does the line get drawn? Right?
I don't know where it gets drawn.
That's what I'm thinking.
I don't know when it got where it got to. I mean, but I wonder if we sat and we went into an indigenous tribe and we just observed them. I saw this one indigenous tribe, they don't even wash their hair. They use mud, this red clay mud, and packed it onto their hair. They don't even know how old they are.
Right.
Can you imagine that?
That'd be awesome.
I want to experience not knowing how old I am.
Yeah.
Because you wouldn't age the same.
Yeah.
Because
Definitely.
there's beliefs that come around aging, you know?
Yeah, and energy that comes with it too.
But I
Or-
wonder how the men and the women view each other, especially if you're walking around and you basically naked.
Naked.
Do they think, oh, you got saggy boobs? Well,
Yeah.
they don't wear bras, so
Yeah.
that they like probably look at your boobs like something wrong with your boobs.
Right.
Why your boobs all
Perky.
up like that? Like it's not supposed to be sagging.
Have
Like
you seen that new chick?
yeah,
She's got weird boobs.
She got weird boobs, man. She walking around with these balloons on. Like we need
Yeah,
saggy.
yeah.
Like that's how their programming is. You know.
Well, and that's basically that's evolution, right?
Yeah.
So like we were like I don't know, we didn't live in that time, but in that time, okay, like things were just there wasn't anything different. So everything was accepted there. And then things started to change a little bit and people accepted it there. And then things started to change again and people accepted it there. So when it starts to change, whoever's not that, whatever it changes to, well, now we have to hurry up and change to that.
Yeah.
And now we have to hurry up and change to that. And how far does it keep going? How much do we have to hurry up and change to whatever the trend is or the way that we're supposed to look or whatever it is, you know, the new product or anything? Like how long are we going to keep? You're just chasing for the rest of your life.
And I think that's the only conversation I'm really having about it. I really don't care about it in terms of, again, what you do with your body. And in that regard, it's just my brother and my sister, like the happiness won't increase. And like I said, how far you go to the point where you're not even recognizable. And that doesn't just have to be from plastic surgery. That can be from what you bought, you know, your possessions and what you're wearing and how you're really puffing yourself up to be something because you really don't feel like you are something.
Right.
When you are something.
You are something.
But you just need to remove the program that's blocking you from being that something.
Right.
And what it is, it can be, again, our environment is filled with things. Like, that's why I don't think mental health is just mental. Like, you talking about, you know, the toxicity of molds and mildews and mercuries, that impacts you mentally, emotionally.
100%. I talk about the brain-gut connection all of the time. What is it? There is a lot to do with mental health. Absolutely, 100%. There's chemical stuff that goes on, but there's also, you know, what's happening in the gut or with the liver or, you know, the gallbladder, where I will literally have clients tell me, like, I was so anxious. My stomach hurt so bad last night. I woke up today. I was so anxious. Like, how does it go from that symptom to that symptom? Because the brain and the gut are so connected. So, of course, exactly what you're saying, like, mental health is triggered by stress and mental health issues and chemical imbalance 100%, but is also triggered by your body's health. So that's two elements coming at you, you know?
Right.
Yeah, very good, interesting.
So you have a lot of women who you're working with. Just, I know, not just on the implant thing, but you think you're going to go down that route in terms of helping women to navigate through that process?
I'm talking about it. It may be something that I go back and help, you know, assist my doctor. Like, that's something I talked about with. You know, for right now, obviously, you know, my focus is so heavily on the gut, because when you do, like, the gut is the root cause of a lot of disease, especially mental health issues. And so when I feel like I focus on that, I can target a lot of things, like, you know, separating dieting from healing and getting rid of anxiety and acne and all sorts of things that come up. Like, all of it is based on the root cause of disease, which is the gut being off. So my focus is going to remain heavily on the gut microbiome and healing of the gut. But there's, you know, spawns. There's tree branches of it. That's the roots. But like there's other parts of it. And of course it is on my intake form, because I need to know if it's affecting somebody. Now, I know people that have breast implants and even my friends that are not affected by their breast implants. They don't have health issues. They never had problems getting pregnant. They seem to be doing just fine. So
Well, I mean, I'm going to push back against that.
Yeah, I mean,
because it's not, because again, that's, how do you quantify that? I'm fine.
Yeah.
They won't even, again, if you don't have contrast,
right.
You know, before I can, you know, focus, before I got the implants, I can focus for 20 minutes straight. Now I'm at 2 minutes.
Right. Yeah.
But I can't make that correlation to that, because it's just like, well, no, I don't have any of that you got going. A lot of it is denial too.
I think a lot of it is denial. I think there's also just a part of certain people's bodies where I think that there's people where they're just not as affected, or like the contrast
think
isn't
that?
as. Yeah, I really do. I
don't
really
know
do.
if I believe that.
Yeah, because some
You still building
surgeons.
scar tissue.
True, not everybody does though.
Nobody. So they don't build scar tissue with the implants.
Some people are not having the adverse reactions of them, but I think that's
Adverse reactions of scar tissue.
adverse reactions of having breast implants in your body.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Some people are just. I think there's always a few, right? There's always like a couple percent or whatever.
I think some people may be impacted more.
Yeah.
I just don't think that they're, again, if you put something in there, you just can't, like I tore my Achilles, right?
Yeah.
I went through rehab, did a lot of tools that I use. Cool. I don't have pain in my Achilles. Some people, they can have scar tissue, they can have a lot of different issues, but I still have, like, my Achilles is still 3 times bigger than my other one.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
There's still an issue there. There's still I can't jump and dunk a basketball right now. Like, I would have to really go and train. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think that
Well,
I don't think there's no mutants out there
And
where
to
they
your
got the
point-
power of, like, oh, well, it's in my body and I don't have it the same way. No, you're just not aware of it.
Yeah.
And again, and maybe not aware of it that you need to take them out. And
Or-
nobody's saying that you got to take them out. But
Yeah. Or it hasn't happened yet.
yet.
Yeah. So, I had my implants in for I think almost 12 years. The FDA's warning originally was 15 to 17 years to get them out or have them re-put it, like taken out and re-put in.
Okay.
Then it was 10 years. So now they're trying to work on it being 5 years. So, which I think will deter people from getting them, because who really wants to, like,
Every 5 years.
every 5 years have to do a surgery. But so it's getting lower and lower, right? Like these. So most women will get sick. Most women don't get sick right away. They get sick over time, right?
Yeah.
So I was starting my healing journey, and it's like then I was not getting better. So it was just happening over time. But everybody's, so kind of to agree with your point here, is everybody's body is going to react in different ways over time. My body started shutting down on it around year 9 or 10.
Were you in the health space at that point
Yeah,
in
I've
time?
been in for 7 years. Yeah.
At that point in time?
Yeah, yeah.
And you saying your body was shutting down?
Yeah, it's just like I could see, even though I was doing all the things, I could still see that like my health was slowly, steadily declining.
I just wonder, though, that the reason why you were able to have that awareness is because you were doing work.
Maybe,
If you didn't do work,
maybe.
maybe you wouldn't even have that awareness. Because
Yeah.
the more that you start to, let's say that I'm working on you as a practitioner and you have pain in your low back, and I work on your low back. Okay, we got your low back good. Then all of a sudden you're like, oh, but I got this pain in my neck. You didn't feel it before because all your awareness was on it only can focus on one thing at a time. So the
Right.
more you start doing all this healing work, you got to the point where the brain is really focusing on a bigger issue.
Yeah,
And again, if you cooked in a pot
yeah.
and you don't have contrast, are these people you're talking to, do they do the same things that you do in terms of health?
No.
Like, I mean, so it's like, that's why I say
It's
I'm not
awareness.
really, I'm not really buying it, because if I used to have clients come in all the time, and I had a medical doctor, and she swore she didn't have a sleeping issue. By the time she did one session with us and she came back the next day, she's like, I didn't even know I had a sleeping issue.
Yeah.
That's just kind of what it is.
Right,
You
right.
have zero contrast.
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of like how, I start to drum up conversations with somebody. Oh, are you experiencing digestive issues? No. I'm like, okay, do you feel bloated on a daily basis? Yeah. Are you going to the bathroom every day, sometimes twice a day? No. Okay, you have digestive issues.
Exactly. I'm just saying it just like that because I know that people just aren't aware. It's not that, oh, no, I'm good. You may be good, but it don't mean that you're your best.
Right. Right. Well, and I mean, just to throw this in there, not everybody cares to feel their best.
That's true.
And so this is my learning journey this year, which is allowing people to have their own journey to figure out if they want to feel their best or not.
Right. But the people who listen to this show, they are about wanting to feel their best.
That's
I
awesome.
think, you know, I believe
Hi
that's
to all of you.
That's why we're tuned in. So if you're going in your head and you're thinking about, well, I don't have that, then you really got to challenge. Do you really not have X, Y, and Z? And again, it's not just about breast implants. It's about just your digestion or
Right.
how you sleep at night.
Right.
Or your ability to focus and concentrate, your mood, you know. It's like you don't really think about those things until you place your awareness on it.
Absolutely, 100%.
So when do you think you're at full recovery?
So, I mean, my doctor says 6 months to a year.
Okay.
Because my scars are healing really quickly, but it'll probably take about 6 months to for them to be pretty invisible. And there's something, this is like a little personal, but there's something that happens to your breast tissue called fluff. And so that takes time. So I can see them sort of lifting as each month passes. You massage them every day, and I've actually been using touch of tallow, which is beef tallow.
What's that?
It's like the fat. So it's like they extract the fat from the meat, and then they turn it into it's got essential oils in it.
Oh, okay.
And it fades the scars really quickly, and it restores the tissue.
Wow,
so
I've
it's
never
like
heard
a
of that
company.
before. What's it called?
Touch of Tallow is the company, or tallow is the product from this organic farm. They're just the company I'm using, but there's many companies out there. But many people will use tallow to heal cuts or inflammation or whatever. So I'm using that. My doctor was wowed by my 3-month appointment and said wow, you're healing really well. But she's wait till 6 months, because the tissue is going to keep growing, the tissue is going to keep building, and they'll sort of naturally lift on their own. So 6 months to a year, but I'm back lifting, sort of how I was. I'm carrying stuff up the stairs for my move. My body is back. It's just now aesthetically how the body can continue to heal. And then my protocol of getting rid of the rest of the toxins from my body, the mold and the heavy metals specifically, which that might take a couple months.
Yeah. Most people do have the same type of toxins in their body, though.
Even without the
implants, because we're drinking out of plastic bottles, we warm stuff up in the microwave with plastic, and it's just I just saw, I can't remember what I read it at, was showing how much fecal matter, how much our fecal matter had plastics throughout of it.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, a lot of plastics and toxins in food and dyes and, all sorts of stuff that the body is taking on. I have mold and heavy metal stuff going on without all that. So that, the average person, and then most people don't know they're exposed to mold. I'm just going to throw this out there because I was just recently exposed to mold and where I was staying before. That's something you definitely got to get checked. If you've been in your house for a while and you're experiencing health issues, get your house checked for mold, because that's 9 times out of 10 where a lot of people's health issues are also coming from. So,
yeah. I think the conversation is around just getting to the bottom of our issues.
Yeah, root causes
to help us to be more efficient and effective in how we live our day-to-day life, and living a better quality of life. This is about, this deepens your quality of life.
Yep. Absolutely.
Removing something. It's not always about what we put in, it's about what we can
take out
as well. And that's where toxins come in. That is about what we put in and what we eliminate.
Yep.
If we have an issue of what we putting in, we got an issue, and we don't eliminate, we got an issue.
Right.
So it's the harmony and the balance and the flow of it all. All right, guys. Till next time.
You've been listening to the Inner Wealth Podcast on EYL.
Get out the matrix and live.
Theme song produced by Be Ready for West Coast Creations. I am Raz Cass, reminding you to take action, be proactive, be congruent. Get out of the matrix, get your mind right. We've automated mental health at inception. Join the movement. Inner Wealth Podcast. La la la. Inner Wealth Podcast. La la la. Inner Wealth Podcast.
Get out the matrix and live.